Hello, hello. This is Pauline from Pauline Art Stuff, and we're back for part 2 of this color along in the book Ausmalreise der verwunschene Wald, or in English, Coloring Journey, The Enchanted Forest by Christl Vogls. And last time we worked on this page, the Mushroom People page. So these are the colors that I picked last time, and we are just gonna continue because we left off with the mushrooms and I last found out that I missed one. So we're first gonna do that one. We're gonna do the same as that one I decided, because at first I thought maybe I wanted something else because of the frog. But because everything around it is already green, like these two, I thought let's do that one green as well and just make it like a brown orangey frog, like a bit red, a bit of orange, something like that, because that's also really cute. So that's the plan. So we're gonna start with the mushroom. So we're gonna do the exact same thing, and we're gonna start with I should also zoom you in, I think. Let's see how close we can get. Oh yes, we can get really close. Let's do it like this. Okay, so we're gonna start with the mushroom, and I think, let me see which colors I used. I used the brown for the shading. I already did that. Then I used that one for over top, and then one of these to finish it off, I think. Yes. Okay, let's start with 174, which is chromium green opaque. 174. Let's start. Yeah, because we already did those, so now let's finish up these. So I'm gonna color over it on the side, on both sides. I'm leaving the middle empty so we can add that color in. Then on these I color this shade on the lines. So I hope you enjoyed part 1 and followed along with it. It's a lovely autumn theme page, and as if I'm correct, I think the autumn period has just begun. I think, not sure actually, but I think so. So it's a lovely autumn feel color along for this one. After this, you'll probably see more space or starting pages for the next color alongs. I think this is enough for now, but yeah, I think that's enough. Like maybe a little bit of shadow underneath his paws, maybe underneath him a little bit. Yeah, let's make that dark as well because it's underneath the frog. Okay, let's go to the lighter shade, 168, earth green yellowish. Let's color this in. So yeah, we are really keeping ourselves to the color scheme that I picked out, and we're not adding in any more colors. And by only picking like a few colors but with different shades of the same color, you make it so that it is a lot less busy on the page, because these pages are really intricate, and then it's better to pick out a color palette with a limited amount of colors so that you don't get like the circus effect, as I call it, or the rainbow effect, that you use literally every color under the sun and it looks horrible because it doesn't go together. In order to prevent that, it's a good idea to have a color scheme. Now we switch to May Green 170 for the last bits. Let me think, because those have some yellow. We could use some yellow in the middle part. Everything else we're just gonna color in. Yeah, I'm gonna leave this part for some yellow. So let's do that. that is 108, called Dark Cadmium Yellow. I'm gonna add in a really light piece of yellow, not too much. So now for the frog, I think I'm also gonna add in some yellow, and we're also gonna use some red and brown tones. So I'm gonna add some yellow on his nose and his head, like so. Just adding in some highlights, because I want him to pop against the background, which is all greens and browns. So that's enough for the yellow. Then I will switch to a orangey tone, which is 111 cadmium orange. I'm gonna color next to it, so it's probably gonna be more of an orangey frog than really brown or red, but I want him to pop, so that's why I decided on orange and yellow. So last time I said I wanted him like that green from their dresses, but if I do that, he will disappear into the moss. It is mushrooms, but I colored it as if it's moss, and I like it. I like the look of it, so that's good. I'm leaving his belly white for now, to see if I want something else over there, or if I also want like more red and orangey tones. Yeah, I should add a lot more color with the next color. This is just a base layer for me to work from for this frog. Okay, the next orange, he's now more like yellow orange, which I also like. So we're just slowly adding in more color until I'm happy with how dark he is. Okay, the next orange we're using is 113 dark cadmium orange. And we're slowly adding in more and more shading. And when I'm happy, I will just stop and say, yes, this is how I want him, and leave it. And that's the plan. So if you like him yellow, keep him yellow. Like he's still yellow with some orange tones for the shading. I think I like that. I don't think I want him too dark. Yes, I think this is wonderful. So let's continue. Just keep going. Yeah, I like that this part is darker. Now he has a white belly. We could leave that white and use some of the light yellow later if we like. But for now I want to leave it. I don't think I want the red because there's a lot of red in her dress. So I don't think I want it on him. I think I want to make brown spots. So we're going to use, I think the darkest one, because these dots are already black. So if you make some brown ones, that should look really nice. Let's use 280 burnt ochre, or a burnt umber, I'm sorry. Burnt umber. Yeah, I've got a little bit of trouble with pronouncing today. I did not tell you this last time, but like halfway through August, I fell out of my wheelchair and I hurt myself pretty bad. I already was sick in July, as some of you might know, and I had like stomach flu and an infection on my breast, so I had antibiotics. So I was really ill on July. Then I finally became better, and I tried to recover, like physically, like becoming less liquidy and out of energy, and that worked. But I did sleep really bad. So in August, I also did not feel too great. I also want some shading here, just to make it a little bit more 3D. And so yeah, August was also really slow going with my health. And I did not feel too great. I slept really horrible, and I still do. As you can hear on my voice, I'm a little bit rough in the voice, because I'm really tired all the time. Like, I'm doing okay, but my voice is just giving out, basically. Yeah, I like this. I I don't know if I want more orange. But yeah, basically I was so tired and still weak in my body that I fainted and fell out of my chair. I was feeding my cat and I bent forward and I felt dizzy. I went up too fast. I thought, oh, I'll take a few deep breaths, but I failed and I fell out of the wheelchair. And because of it, I injured my neck, my shoulder, and my head really bad. So that caused me to have some seizure-like attacks, like epileptic kind of attacks. It's not epilepsy, it's malfunctioning of the brain when it gets too much input. But then I'm knocked out basically, and I'm shaking and all kinds of nasty stuff. So I was really tired after that as well. But luckily I'm doing okay, and I hope it will just become better and better. If I get some sleep, it will definitely get better. That's also why I waited a few days or 2 weeks even before I filmed again. So yeah, now we're like today it is, I think, the 2nd of September. Let me see. Yeah, today is the 2nd of September, and the last time I filmed this was the 31st or the 30th of August. So I also took a few days off in between to film my completed pages. I think I want the mouse with this lovely tone with some, oh, this one, with some brown tones, like these three probably, like a warmer brown and a sandy and a dark one. So we're going to use this for the highlight, this for the shadow, and this for the in-between color. So that's the plan. Yes, I think that's what I want. And otherwise we could go for these tones, which are more like skin tones, but that I want to keep for the mushroom people. I think I don't know yet. Let me have a look, because we also have a snail on his head. Maybe we want those softer tones for the snail and the brown tones for the mouse. Otherwise they just go like be one big blob. That's better, I think. Then we also have these leaves. Maybe you don't remember, but this is our inspiration picture that we're using for our color scheme. As you can see, we already used the darker tones on her. I added in the brighter green because I also knew I wanted a lot of green on the bottom. So that's why I've got 2 shades of green. And then this orangey brown is what we also have here a little bit, but I thought maybe we can also do that on those leaves, those big ones, like make them a bit more like his wings, or like those, you know, like a little bit darker than that, somewhere in between that and that. That's the idea that I've got right now. So maybe we should do that first, do the leaves on the page, so that we know what we're working with and what else we've got left to like divide on the page, because I like him, but he needs some more blending. Same with the mushrooms and everything else, but I first want some color on everything. So let's do that. Let's do those leaves in that orangey brown tones that I said, but I was thinking of using those two together with that one maybe. Yeah, because that one is a bit too dark. I think that one would be better. So let's use that on these leaves, because we already did the green on those and I want them different, but I don't want it too close to that one. So that's why I'm mixing colors. Let's start with the darkest one, 280, the dark umber, or the burnt umber. This one is difficult today. The burnt umber. Yeah, you will see it on the screen. I will now add, like, you see all this shading that already makes it darker if you put a color on. So I want to make this as minimal as possible. So I'm gonna color next to the inner line, blend a little bit outward, like really gentle. Same on the other side. And then on the bottom I want to branch out to the sides like so, and then slightly shade it into the inside like this. And that's all I want for the dark shade, and when we go over it with the color it will look different. So we're gonna do that same with this one, nice and dark in the middle. blend it a little bit out on both sides. And then the bottom, I want it more to the outside. And in. And that's like, they already look different now than these branches and those clocks. So that's good, because I want them to stay visible. We've got a lot more leaves also on the top, like over there. We also have these parts, like there are 2 of them. There's also one like next to the bird over there. So we're also going to shade this one. So for this one, because we're pretending that the light is coming from the front roughly, we're going to do the left side. It's not really like perfectly correct what I'm doing, but at least it's something. I always do it roughly, you know. I never completely perfect it. So I do like that, so that the light comes from like above and the front. So this one we do the same as we just did. Like we do this the opposite as we did from that, but that's because I like it better like this, because the shading is brought in the middle. So that's why I'm adjusting it to whatever is on the picture. Because if you would follow the rules that we did with the mushroom, you should do the sides with the dark shade. And that's the reason why I'm not following it, because there are lines from the illustrator. Like there's one more over here. So we're gonna do the same with this one, but this time we can just do left and right, because this one is straight on. And then for this one we do also the same, but the bird is on it. So I do want some darkness underneath the bird. Extra darkness, that is. Like so, roughly. Keep it on the back side of the leaf, like more underneath the bird, like so. So this front bit stays a lot lighter, because there's also a lot less shading on this leaf compared to the other side. So yeah, I'm just gonna do it like this. I think that would be enough, maybe a little bit on this edge. Okay, then we've got these tiny ones. I only want some on the inside, and that's that. We're gonna keep it limited. So I hope you enjoyed my completed pages video. I most certainly did. It was really a lot of fun. I colored a lot of double page spread last month, and I think this month will be no different, because I picked so many, but I also picked a lot of double page spread. So, you know, it's not just I pick a lot of pages, I also pick them, the double pages. I just like them, so I'm more inclined to pick those instead of the easy ones. And I let my mood decide at the spot what I will color. Same with these color alongs, I just do whatever I feel like. And when I feel up for it, I just pick one. Usually one from my plans, and sometimes just something completely different, like today. But yeah, that's just how I like to do it. And if somebody makes a request, I will put it on my list to make, and I'll just see when I've got the time and feel like it, because it's not like I don't want to do it, but sometimes you're not in the mood for certain books, so then you can better wait until you do. Usually I'm okay with just grabbing one and going, but yeah, sometimes you just want something different, like this one. Like the main reason why I was pulled towards this book is because I saw the new flip through of the newest one from Christl Vogls. This is like a compilation book. It's only a lot bigger than this one. I already told you about this in the last part, but for the people that just popped in part 2, I will tell it just short. There was a new book from her, Christl Vogls, and it is a compilation book in which contains like about 10 double page spreads from books like these, but then like from every book they have like 10, 11 double pages, so 22 pages, single ones, an 11 double, so this side and the left side. And that's from every season book. So you got some of this, which is autumn. Let me see, do I have all the leaves? Let me zoom out so we can check. Yeah, so you've got this book, which is autumn, but like you've got these small ones on the left. So what I mean with 11 is like this counts as one, these two together. And if you don't count it like that, but you count this as one, it's 22 pages like out of each season book. And that's what's in the big one. The big one is like bigger even than the mythographic, so it's really big. Because this, look, this is really small. So yeah, if you would like that, then yeah, you should buy it. But it's not new illustrations. See how pretty? I like this a lot. A little frog friend. Okay, so now we've done the dark shade. Let's see, there are some leaves over here, so we should do those. Then we've got flowers, only flowers. There's some other leaves over here. I think they should just maybe sand color like what we've done with this. But they're also over here, you see what I mean? But these do look like the brown ones that we did, and the ones here as well. So we will do those, and then we will have a look what we will do with those. Yes, yes, yes. I think that's the idea. Okay, let's go to these leaves. Let's zoom in, move you a little bit more in frame. Let's also shade these in. But yeah, the only reason I was looking at it because I saw it in somebody's video and I like this artist. So I was like, oh, what is this new book? And I was really happy to see it was really big. But then when I looked at the flip through, I found out that only my least favorite are actually in the big book. And I talked about it with my sister and I'm like, yeah, I don't think I want the big one after all, because the favorites are not in there. So why would I, you know? Like, I think I want that beetle also with the brown, like this one. So let's do that as well while we're at it. Like, I want, like, he's already really shaded. So I'm only gonna do his butt with this stuff. Pretty dark. See how dark? And I already put down quite a bit of pigment. As you can see, it's already a bit shiny. So let's add it in. We want him to shine. That's what we want. But yeah, because I've got a limited color palette, I can't really use like the orange or the green on him. Like I could use the green, but I don't want to because I think we already have a lot of green. So I want to spread my colors a little bit everywhere on the page. That's why I chose a brown for this little bugger. I don't like him either. I don't like bugs like this. Like beetles. I don't like beetles. The crawlies. I don't like the crawlies. They're not my favorite kind of animal. Let's see. You've got paws over here. The other one is disappeared. I don't know. No, that's her foot. Okay, there's nothing. Oh, but that's her foot. That should also have a color later then. Oh, that's good. I don't know what I want with these. Maybe just the same as this. So let's color the outside with this. I don't know exactly. Okay, that's enough with the brown. Let's go to the sand color, which is gonna be, yes, because I said sand color and an orange. So we do brown ochre, 182 for the leaves. And I'm also going to use it on this bug because the leaves are all the way up here and he is alone away from the leaves. So that should be just fine to use it on him. Let's also use it on his paws. Like because he has so much shading, even putting a light color on is already really dark on him. I do want the edge to stay white on this one. Same with this. I want to keep some white on him. Small highlights. The same with this one. Some small highlights on the clippers, whatever it is. so that it pops compared to the dress. See, like that. That's what I like. I need some more shading on here. So I want a light here. And I want some lighting there. Yeah, I like it. I like this smooth brownish tone on him. Like, look, he already looks perfect like this. Nothing else needs to be done on him. Okay, let's go to the leaves. Let me move you up a little bit so we can see both of them. And the beetle is no longer in view because I don't like looking at him. I think he's a little bit creepy. Okay, this time I will add in the sand tone on the outer edges. Like, this is maybe not a good example. Like these parts that are also shaded. So we do it like on the edge, even if there is none. And then we color these bits as well. Just blend it in on the line work. And then for the last few bits, I want to use like a light orange. That's the idea, at least, what I would like to make of this. But by using this color on the edges and leaving only in between light, or white in this case, it's easier to blend them all together. And it still looks like a brown leaf then, instead of an orange, like mainly orange leaf. Because the orange can be really overwhelming really quick. And that's why I mainly use the brown tone. Like, look how dark that is now. Oof, that's really dark. But yeah, we need some contrast in this picture, otherwise it's just one big blob. So yeah, on this one I do something different because they're really small. So I just use it next to the shade that we already have. Okay, let's move up because there is another one over there. And for this one I also do only the inside because I want to. No other reason basically. They're also a lot smaller. So that's why I also think it's better to try and do less. So that's beautiful as well. Let's go to the other side, because there's a lot more over here. Yeah, I think we could just finish up the background first, and then we have a look at everything else on the page. Because there's a lot going on pages like these, so I do want it balanced. So in order to do so, we are first doing the parts that I already know roughly what I want. And then we will go back to the parts that I have hopefully have a little bit of thought about what I would like. Okay, this one is really big, so we do the same. We do the shaded bits on the edge. I already made one mythographic page this month. I started with it this month. It was I think the 31st of August when I finally started like on my new pages, because I was done with my old list. I have done my completed pages video and I was like, yeah, let's do something else today. So I picked my mythographic book for the Space Timber team. It was from Voyage. It really was a space team page with the girl with the astronaut suit. So I started that. That's one of my buddy colors. I usually start with my buddies at the early in the first week of the month, so that they are all done after like a week of coloring, roughly, give or take. That's usually how I do it, because I like to have them out of the way so that I don't disappoint anybody, because I don't color it. So if I do not do it at first, I get nervous, you know, like I just want to have them done. I really like how this is dark and the stem is really light, because at first I thought maybe the other way around, but this looks really nice. So yeah, I like it. And there's also a lot more shading on the leaves, so it makes more sense to do it this way. But yeah, I finished it on the 1st of September. And I watched Jana, which is my buddy for that page. I watched her plant video yesterday evening when it went up, roughly. That's when I watched it, and she also made a lot of plans. I think everybody that I watch on YouTube have made yeah, that's a bad word to say. Let's not say that. A whole lot of plans. I wanted to say something bad. Yeah, we're not doing it. So yeah, they just picked way too many, all of them, each and every one of us. And yeah, I just laughed, like so many choices, so little time. And it's true, because everybody has gone bonkers by picking so many pages, because there's so many pages that could be used for Space Timber, or call it the Fairy Tales team, which has star as one of the prompts. So yeah, that's also linked to Space Timber in my opinion. So it's like a double win-win. So I was really happy to go through my books and look at everything that I could color. There's so much options. So in the end, I've written them all down in my planner with pencil, so that I know what I can choose from. Okay, I think that is all the leaves for now. Let me zoom you out for a second. This is what it looks like right now. Yeah, it already looks like a lot more colored. Okay, let's take a light orange, but not that one. I don't want that orange. I want a darker one, something in between. So I think we're going for 113. Let me see. This one. Let me have a little test on my tester page. Is that the shade that I want? Maybe not. No, I think maybe one darker. Let's see, is this one darker? Yeah, that one is darker. Let's do one darker. Yeah, that's more muted. That one is even brighter. So let's do this one. We're going for number 115, dark cadmium orange. So that's the middle one from our color palette. It's that one? That one. Okay, let's go. Let's zoom you back in. Hoppa. There you go. Yeah, my phone is pretty simple. It's just like you zoom in this much or you don't zoom at all. And I like it because then I can't mess it up. I will still leave some highlights on the edge just because I like it. And on the inside as well, except for this part because it's behind something. Just gonna blend it in a little bit. Yeah, that looks really warm brown now, and that's what I wanted. I think if I would have done the less dark one, it would have been too bright. It's already bright like this, you see? But yeah, that's the reason why I picked a darker one. So yeah, I had another person ask me for a buddy, so I was really happy because I love doing buddies. I just enjoy it. I don't really know exactly why. I know I love seeing what everybody else is doing, and I like chatting about my coloring. I should also do some on these. I like chatting about what kind of pages we do and what we're working on at the time. If you ordered any books, that kind of stuff. I also sometimes talk about with other people. Like just coloring related stuff. You know what I mean? Showing what you've done. Like it looks like this now. And that's what I like, to have conversation. Because my close people around me, yeah, and my sisters do color a little bit. But at some point they're just bored of what I have to say about it. Well, my coloring friends, they are always in the mood to talk about anything coloring, even if it's just a little bit. And that's what I like about it. Like, of course, we don't only talk about that stuff, but you know how those conversations go. You call or you talk about whatever comes up. Yeah, I really like this look. It doesn't look too orange. Like that looks really orange. That looks more like a warm brown, and that's what I like. Okay, let's do these as well. But yeah, we picked a body in Matchstick Mouse. No, not Matchstick Mouse. Sketchbook Mouse. The sketchbook mouse. The travel sketchbook mouse. Yururi, I think his name is. That one. We picked a page out of that one. We picked a single page because I suggested a double page, and then I was like, ooh, maybe they don't want a double because I always do double. I was like, oh yeah, that's the one I flagged, but maybe they're not up for a double. So I was like, let's also give them a choice for a single. And yeah, they chose the single. Of course they did. Like, I'm the only crazy one that goes for double pages all the way. That's just what I like to do. That's what I found out. I like to do double pages. Even if it's not a double, I still do it as a double. Yep. I just found out that that's my thing, basically. I love it. Because me only doing this side of the page, that really, it makes me have the itch to color the other side after I'm done filming this. So yeah, I don't know if I will. Maybe I will be different this time and not color the other side straight away. I think I want to do it anyway. I will see how long I can keep myself from it. Because I'm pretty sure that I will want to do it at some point this month. Because I can't stand it having only one side colored. It's just something in my mind that I can't do it. Yeah, funny how the brain works. I like the orange leaves. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. You see how overpowering the orange is now that we are adding it in? It's overpowering like almost instantly. And if you do too much with it, it will not look the way you want it, because then it's just an orange leaf. Now there's still enough brown in it to call it brown, a brown leaf. And that's what I want. I want it to be in between. I want it warm tone, but not so warm that it's really orange like her dress. After all, it's just the background what we're coloring. So I want it to pop, but not too much. The only reason why I'm leaving this part white is because of the leaf behind it. So you've got more contrast. Otherwise, I would have colored that edge as well. Okay, I think that was all the leaves. Let me zoom you out. There we go. Look at that. Yeah, they really look like a warm brown right now. I like it. I like it a lot. I also like the beetle. Like, yes, he's really dark, even though we didn't use that dark of a color. But I like it. Okay, now we have the mouse, the snail, the bird. I think for the bird, because he's next to the brown orangey leaf, it might be better if we use the green. Because the red would be too similar to her and to the leaf. And I think I want some yellow over here with brown in the middle, red brown in the middle to be precise. And because of that, I think this would look better in green. And for that one, I don't know yet. Maybe we can get away with like yellow and red, maybe. You think so? Okay, let's do the bird first. Let's just skip around the page. Let's zoom you in. So we're gonna make him green. So I'm gonna switch my pencil out. And we're gonna take a green. Let's see which greens do we want. We've got the muted tones. But those we did for the background. So we don't want those. So we want choose from these. So I'm going to start with the darkest, 266 permanent green. And we are just going to start. I'm going to do it on the dark bits, this color. But not everywhere, just like this, where the shading is, and really lightly. because otherwise he will get too dark too quick. And this is wire or thread, so we can just color over it roughly, give or take. I'm just following the shading that the illustrator already has on the page, so I don't have to add too much. Don't have to think about it too much. That's what I wanted to say. Like, I think I only want it like over there. I think I want the belly to be yellow so that it pops a little bit more, and we could use some brown orangey on the beak. But first we want a lighter tone, so I'm going to go for the 112, which is called Leaf Green. I will leave the link for the pencil holder in the description. I don't know if they're still in stock because they usually don't have a lot of them, but then at least you know what to look for on AliExpress if you would like one, because they come and go. So if you just keep an eye on it and search for pencil grip holder, at some point they pop up again, and then you can order one as well, because I've had a lot of questions about it. And I myself can't do without it anymore, because I really use it all the time with my colored pencils. That's enough. Let's use the lightest shade, because I don't think another green in between that's a bit too much. The lighted one is 171, but light green something, I don't know, will be on the screen, because I can't look it up because it's in a pencil grip holder. It's like in an extender. Yeah, I think I also want some yellow on the leaves, so I'm only gonna add in this lightest bit on the tail. A little bit here. Blend it out a little bit more. Yes, okay. Let's take the yellow, but we're gonna go for that one, the really bright one, 108. Dark cadmium yellow, I think. Yes, 108. Dark cadmium yellow, and we're gonna shade it in on the sides. We leave the inside white, so his cheek bit is white, as you can see. And it's not pressing too hard. I don't want too much pigment. I just want a light layer on him, like this. That's all I want. So these ones I also want yellow. So let's keep going with what we know. Like his beak, I want the orangey tone, but I will do a little highlight on the top of his beak. Okay. For these, I want the edges that are shaded with the bright yellow. Like so. Nice amount of pigment on it. I'm just going to do that for all of them. Yeah, over here they're only on the inside, so we only use it on the inside. Let's leave the outer bits white for now. Okay. Something like that. Yes, I think that's enough for that dark one. Then I need the other colors for the rest of it. Okay, let's do this one. But because this one is like still closed, I think we should just use it only on these parts and leave this alone. I think. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's more than enough. I don't want to add too much. Okay, let's continue with the next one. Just following the shading. But yeah, if you just do the same all over the page and go bit by bit with what you know you want, you can see how easy it is to decide, especially with a color palette, because you only have so many options. So the basic thing that you have to ask yourself by what color to choose from your palette is, what do I have around the object? So what isn't around this? So here, what is not around the butterfly? I would say orange, because this is brown and this is yellow and that's green. So you could do red or orange on the butterfly if you would like. So that's an option, but because it's pretty shaded, it becomes really dark really quick. So you have to be careful. But yeah, that's how you decide, because like if you look at the mouse, what is not on the, like next to the mouse? Everything is next to the mouse. You see what I mean? So that's complicated. So then you have to be creative. So that's a problem. Let me see. Are there any more of those flowers? Yes, there's one more over here. Okay, good. Oh, there's also bumblebee that we can color. We are also going to do that straight away. Okay, that's the flowers. Then we've got one bumblebee. Yes, we've got one bumblebee. Okay, I'm going to color the outer bit, the outsides of the bumblebee like this. And that's a Jiminy Cricket. That's a cricket, yes. I already was like confused last time when we did this page, and I now had the same. Okay, let's take a... Let me think a little bit, because I wanna... where's my finger? There. I want to do this bit, maybe the inside, but that I want like a dark red brownish something. But for the bumblebee, I want some more orange on the side, so he's a bit more three-dimensional. So maybe this is too bright. I think I want that one, 113. So let's pick that one for the bumblebee and finish that off. Orange glaze, 113 for the bumblebee. Let's continue. Let's use it on the edge. Yeah, he's like really small. I also want some colors on the wing, but we don't have a lot of choice. So we could use the skin tone, which is this one. I think I want to do that one. 132, which is light flesh. Let's use that on his wings for a little bit. So I'm going to use it over here. I'm going to leave a lot of white as well. Excuse me. Let me take a quick sip. I'm going to pause you. Okay, and I'm back. Yeah, I had a bit of a coughing fit over there. It was tickling in my throat. I was like, oh no. I could feel it coming up. But yeah, I finally got a little bit better, and then my throat starts playing up again. Like, I didn't have it for like 2 weeks, and then bam, was back again. So yeah, I think that's all I want to do on the bumblebee for now. I don't want to add too much, because I also want some around him or her later. We were doing the flowers. I want the tone that I want to use is one of these light ones, but because we're also going to use that on the background probably, I want to do that last probably. So that's why I'm skipping that for now. We're first going to do the heart of this flower and that one. There are two of them, and I'm going to start with the dark brown again, 280. Burnt umber. Yeah, that one is still not stuck in my head. Okay, I'm gonna use it on the sides first, and then the inside, because there's an inside, and then I'm gonna just make circles on the outer edge like so. Yeah, roughly, give or take, like that. And maybe a little bit on this side, because it looks a bit weird if there's nothing. Okay, then we do the same on this one. So this is the inner part, and then we do the outer part and the bottom, roughly like so. Okay, so then we need to add the red next to it, and I also want some on his body. So let's also do some on his lower body. On the bottom of his body, that's what I should say. Yeah, that's enough. Whoa. Wow, that was a lot of air. Excuse me. Ooh. Yeah, my stomach is upset. That burned a bit in my throat. Brown ochre, is that what I want? I'm completely distracted now because of my burp. I wanted the red. So I also want that one. So I think I'm first gonna do the red and then I will color that over it. So I will start with 121, which is called Pale Geranium Lake. And I will color it over the brown and on the edge of the flower. I will only leave a little tiny smidge next to the middle without. Like you can't even tell, like that. And we'll do the same for this one. Just so that we know that's a light bit. This way they still pop, you know. Okay, and then we will take that 190, which is this one. Venetian red, it's called. I barely use this color. So let's use it on this one. Okay, let's use it on the front because I think it's a bit too dark for the other highlight part. Okay, we do need some yellow then, maybe. Yes, we need some yellow on the edge, on our highlight maybe, or just on top. Let me see what we can do. We're gonna take the 108 dark cadmium yellow again. And then what I will do, like right now it looks like this, but I think it's like, I want to keep the highlight, but not entirely. So what I will do, I will color these sides and I will color this part a little bit. So I will blend it in. So I keep a part of the highlight, but not like in its entirety. I think that will look nice if I do it like that. That just destroyed the entire highlight. But it does look nice. See? Yes, I like it. Okay, good. Let's leave that for now. Then the butterfly. I want some yellow on him. Let me see. I want red, yellow, and maybe a brownish tone. What could we do? We could do the edges red, and then this yellow to white, and then this red again. I think that would be nice because then he really pops, because this already has a lot of white. Yes, okay, let's do the yellow on this side. Let's only do it on the bottom because otherwise it's already too much. So only yellow on the bottom of this part. A little bit more. Like that. Yeah, I think that's already enough because I want to leave the rest of it white. And he's so small that otherwise it won't work. Then we will go to our red again, 121 Pale Geranium Lake. And we will color the back wing a lot darker. This one. Leave a highlight for a different color. Yeah, they forgot the black bit over there. We don't know why. It looks weird. On this one, I will leave the edge of this wing white, so because otherwise they just blur into each other. And I will also leave the edge next to the transition white-ish. Like so. Let's add a lot more pigment on the inside. Blend it out completely. Then on this side we will add some red in on the outer edge. Yeah, I like it already. Like more pigment. Beautiful. I always figure it out as I am coloring. I usually don't immediately think about everything on the page. Sometimes I do, but then that's because it's like a massive page, like a double page spread. Then I usually color it in lightly. Like I like it like this. I don't think it needs anything more on the wing. I only want some color on his body, so I think we could use that one, the Venetian red. So let's take one. Let's take that one, Venetian red 190. And let's color his body with it. Let's leave a little bit of a highlight on the edge. Like so. Is that pretty? Yes, I like it. Yeah, he or she is really pretty like this. Beautiful. It almost looks a little bit purplish red, pinkish red. Yeah, I like it like this. Okay, let me zoom you out for a second so we have an overview of the page. This is what we have right now. As you can see, almost everything has a color except for the snail, the mouse, the cricket, and of course their faces and you know, that kind of stuff. And the ball of yarn also doesn't have a color yet. I don't think I want a lot of color on the yarn. I don't know yet. For the snail, I think I want those skin tones, these ones, so that he still stands out a little bit. Then for the mouse, we're gonna go not for the darker shade. We're gonna go for these two, I think, and see what that brings us. And then we will look further. So let's start with the snail with these tones. So we're gonna start with 131. Let's zoom you back in for the snail. Oh, the snail. We're gonna go for the lightest skin color, which is light flash 132. We're not gonna go for the darker one. We're gonna start with the lightest one this time because he's so small, because you only have this bit and this bit of his skin. So what I will do is I color his little tentacles in the part in the middle and this tentacle as well, like so, and that one a little bit. And then for his clock house, his house I don't know yet, so we'll skip that for now. We're going to go to the next shade up, which is 131 medium flesh, and we're going to shade the sides of the snail. He's so tiny, you can barely have any color. Okay, that's a snail. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. He doesn't need any more shading. Maybe a little bit next to his, like these bits. Usually you would make a shading next to it, but I do it on top of it because it's too difficult otherwise. Otherwise it becomes one big blob of darkness. Okay, then we've got our mouse. And I said I wanted the brown tone. So let's go to the brown tone, 182. That's not the 182. This one, 182, brown ochre. Let's use that color on it. Because we also have it next to him. But I don't think anything else could work right now. Like maybe we should also leave some parts white maybe. Let's see. Let's color in his fur. Leave his belly white. This I want to color. I'm just gonna use it really lightly on him, just to see what I like about it. If I like it, I want his nose also maybe white. Yeah, maybe. Okay, let's color in some more. I want to highlight on his back, a little one, and I want one on his hip, over there. So those are the parts that I leave white for now. Just slowly shading it in. And it's okay if it looks scratchy, because that way, if you do like that, you get the texture of the fur. But as you can see, he's really light. So we need more contrast. So I'm gonna add in way more pigment now with the same color. We just do the same process. Just adding in more color to our little friend. Yeah, I like this color on him. Yeah, making all these scratchy marks. Keep going. I'm just adding until I'm happy with the outcome. As you can see, the direction turns over here of the markings. I just follow her shading with where I place my markings. Yeah, I like that a lot. I don't think it needs any more. Look, yeah. Now he does still pop, and he's different than the snail, he's different than the frog that was popping. I think I want some pinkish tone on his feet, his ear, and nose, and hands. Not just like their skin, probably. So I'm gonna use 132 light flash first for the light tone. Let's use a little bit on his nose and on his cheek. Just a tiny smidge on his cheek. I want some blushies. Yes, please. Okay, let's also use some blushies on his ear. Gonna add in a darker one in the middle. That's why I'm leaving it. Then his paws, I only want this shade for now. And I want some darker on the other side of that. For the tail as well, I want the dark on the edges. Okay, let's do that first before we switch again. 131, which is medium flash for the darker shade. Come on, focus. It doesn't want to focus. There we go. Sometimes it does that. It just focuses on the wrong thing. Just making sure you can see what I'm doing. That wouldn't be nice. Okay, also his nose. Lovely nose. Oh, so cute. Okay, the bottom of his hand a little bit. Bottom of his feet. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot like this. Okay, wonderful. Then his snail house. I think we should use some green maybe like that chest. Like that kind of green. Because I don't have many options otherwise. I could make him like dark brown, but then it would like disappear next to the leaf. So I think I should just do the green. Let's do the green. I don't care. We're doing the bright green this time. So we're going for the second darkest this time, not the darkest. We're going for 112 leaf green. I'm skipping the darkest tone this time because I'm not sure how dark I want this snail house to be. So I'm gonna color it like this. And then I want to top the lightest, like this. And then I'll take the lightest green. I only use 2 colors this time. The lightest green is 171. No idea what the name is, but you will see it on screen. I will add it in on screen for you, so you will know. And that's all I do. That's more than enough. So it's still different than her chest because I only used those 2 colors, but it's still popping. So now we can at least see the snail. Before it wasn't even visible. And that's why I do it like this. But we've got 2 more creatures left. Look at that little bugger. But he is on her, so he should be green as well. And the little cricket should be green as well, because just because I want to. Okay, let's go for the darkest green this time. 266 permanent green for the cricket. Let's use it on his underneath his body. His face looks a little bit like a parrot. Strange. Really strange. Yeah, I don't like it. I used to catch them with my bare hands, these things. They make horrible sounds while you're camping. They can keep you up. We catched like crickets and like what are those called? Frogs, toads, not the like the big ones, the fat toads with the rats on them. Are those things on them like the yeah? That I think that's what they are called. I don't know exactly actually. Yeah, I like it like this. Let's go to the little bug, the ladybug. Yeah, he should be red, but because her dress is red, I don't want him red. So we're gonna make him green. Too bad, buddy. Yeah, I could have made her thing yellow, but it wouldn't have popped as much. Like this way with the red, it pops way more. Okay, let's take a lighter tone. We're gonna go for the second lightest, 166 grass green. So we're skipping one. And we're going straight in to the left and the right, if I can even tell what I'm doing. Yeah, now I can tell. Okay, that's already more than enough color on this little fella. Let me show you it like this. See, it's already enough. Doesn't need any more than that. And then we go back to Mr. Cricket and we blend it in with the other color that we've got. As you can see, I'm also skipping parts, leaving parts white, because otherwise it will be just one big blob and you will have no contrast whatsoever. Yeah, that's also perfectly fine. I think the bumblebee is perfectly fine as well. Okay, then we have their skin. She's got another leaf over there, the little bastard. And then we've got those tiny leaves over there. Okay, so I think we're first gonna do the one next to her shoulder, because it's the same form as that one. So we're gonna make that brown. So we're gonna start with the darkest brown, 280, burnt umber. Yeah, finally, I said it correct. Then I'm gonna take the 182 brown ochre. And I'm going to use a little bit of that orange that we used, which is 115, I think. Dark cadmium orange. Next to it. Just a tiny bit. Okay, that's good. That's that one done. Okay, then we have the skin, the hair. I think I want brown hair for her. So let's do that first. Okay, we've got the 280 that I just put back. Okay, we're gonna now color everything else on the page. So we're gonna start with her hair. I'm gonna use the darkest brown on the shaded bits of her hair. Coloring as minimal as possible. Don't want to add like a lot of color with it, because it's gonna be too dark really quick. That's her headpiece, yes. Some on the inside, some on the outside. Yeah, there's so much, like so little space and so much to color. That's why I'm also skipping parts. There we go. That's all of her hair, I think, because that's a ball of yarn. Yes. I think it could be yellow, maybe, because there's no yellow here. And her necklace could also be either red or yellow. Okay, I think I want her sleeves yellowish, something like it. So we skip those. Do they have hair? They do have some hair. So let's what am I thinking? I'm thinking that I want this edge that is like that. I think I want that yellow. And then I might do some brown sand tone over there, like not the dark brown, but the one on the mouse, this one. Yeah, okay, let's do that. We're gonna use the sand tone, which is 182 brown ochre. So yeah, I'm skipping around a lot. I also want this on her hair, but I want to leave a lot of white as well, so otherwise it doesn't show at all. like that it has dimension, that it is a braid. It's just so small that you can barely do anything, as you can tell. Like this is what it looks like right now. That's all I can do because it's so small. Then I'm also going to use it on these bits to the side. I'm going to use it on the inside. Like this. Blending it out nicely. That's all I will do for now. And I will do the same on the little kids. Behind them I want it completely filled in. Because we're going to leave their neck things, we're going to leave them white. So otherwise they will not show up at all. Yeah, these ones are a bit bigger, so we have got a little bit more room to maneuver. So we've got a little bit more options with where we place our tones. But I like it like this. Yes, perfect. Okay, next one. So simple, but so effective. So now it does look a little bit like hair, you know what I mean? That's what I went for. As you can see, I'm doing like, I color a bit and then I leave a highlight, color a bit, leave a highlight. That's also what I did with that one. So therefore it has dimension. Otherwise it becomes flat. If you do the same on the entire surface, it won't look good. So this is just a matter of getting a feeling for stuff like this, that you know where to leave it and where to color. As you can see, this looks really nice. It looks like hair now. Wonderful. I like it. I love it. And these are my favorite on the entire page. Those little people. Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. Really pretty. I should eat soon. I'm getting a little bit hungry. But it's no wonder because I didn't eat that much for, well, not literally lunch. It was later than lunch because I usually eat during lunchtime and then I eat again around like 3:30 in the afternoon. Yeah, I like it like this. Then we will do the same with the ruffles. So I'm gonna color the back completely up till about here, I think, and then I'm just gonna shade like the inner part, roughly, give or take. It's difficult because it's so small. Just doing like I color one, I don't color one, roughly, give or take. That's how I think I'm going about it. I don't want everything the same either, so I also want some shading on the bottom. Just so that it gets some more shape than just lines. I do like it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave a highlight there as well. Just because of the shape of it, you know? I want it to be rounded. That's why I'm doing it like this. I actually don't want to add any more color for now on those bits. So we do the same for her body. Just gonna roughly do the same. But yeah, just by adding in one color, it already looks like done, basically. You don't need to add in more if you don't want to. This one I want to just color completely. I want the edges to stay white completely. Like this. The same for her sleeve. There's a little bit of sleeve maybe there. Don't know. You can barely tell if that's a sleeve or just the ball of yarn. Yeah, I like it. Okay, that one we already did. Okay, I think that's all I wanted for now with this shade. Then I'm gonna take the yellow for that bit of her headpiece. So we're gonna go for the really bright yellow, dark cadmium yellow 108. And I'm gonna shade this in. I still want to leave a lot of white, so I only color the liney bits. Everything else I'll leave white. So on this side the same. I leave the rest of it white. Like it still looks nice. And now we are gonna color her face. I think I also wanted that one yellow. Let's color that yellow as well now that we're at it. I do want some color on it, you know. Just not a whole lot. I'm not coloring everything. I'm gonna leave a bit of white here and a bit of white there. Just so that it has some shape, you know. Otherwise it's just like, there you got yellow. And that would be ugly. Okay, we've got these two shades for her skin. And a third one. This is the third one. So we've got these three shades for the skin. So we're gonna start with the darkest one, which is 191. Named Pompeian Red. Got such lovely names today. Okay, I'm gonna use it for the blush on her cheek. Because I like making blush. Like so. A little bit on the nose. And a little bit above the eyes. And on the sides of her face. And her neck. Also needs to be dark. It's usually the darkest part. Okay, then for her hands, I want it on the bottom of her fingers. Okay, that's all the skin on her. Then we go to the little girl. Just some on the sides for now. And a little bit on the top because of the mushroom thingy. Yeah. Some blushes. Just a little bit, please. Okay, a little bit on the bottom of her hand. She also got feet. Yeah, let's do her feet as well. I love these little ones. They're so adorable. But so tiny. They're adorable. Okay, the last one. Yeah, just looking at them makes me giggle. Like, look at them. There's no hands or feet on that one. Oh, there's a little bit of feet over there. Oh no. I want her shoe to be red like her dress. Okay, let's go to the lightest tone first for the skin. 132 light flash. Then we can add in the middle tone if needed. Because we might not even need it because they're so tiny. I want to leave a highlight in between their eyes. But because they are so small, you can barely see what we're coloring. Like that. You see how little they are? Oh, wonderful. But her neck is not colored. Let's go back to the other tone, the darkest one. Okay, done. Just want to add that in. Yeah, I'm gonna leave a highlight there. And on her chin, I do the same. Also leave a highlight over there. Give or take. It's not pretty yet. Okay, her hand. I want to leave it white on the top of her hand and her arm as well. Just gonna leave a highlight all around the top of the arm. I'm using a lot more pigment now. And this one I just color entirely. Only on the left I leave a little bit of white. Okay, I'm gonna use the middle tone now, which is 131 medium flash. And I'm gonna blend the darker one with the lighter one from the bottom up to get more color. To get more depth. Blending it out. And her skin on her neck as well. Just basically blending out what we already have. Smoothing it out. Okay, a bit more darkness on the little ones. Okay. Oh, you didn't even see the last one. Okay, then I want the red for her lips. 121 Pilgrani Malik. Let's do her top lip completely dark. And then for her bottom one I want a highlight, but I'm not sure if I can. Yeah, a little one. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, let's add a little bit of blush on the sides, so it's a bit brighter. Yeah, I like it like that. Look, there's so little space that it's difficult to do. And now we can use our blender tool to make it smooth if we want to. If we want to. Okay, let's also add some more blush on these little ones, because it got lost in them. This one does have the most blush so far. Like, look, see, now they've got some blush as well. They're so tiny. Beautiful, I like it. Okay, I finished this, and now that I'm editing, I noticed that I left out her arm. So I'm adding this in. So we're gonna quickly do the other side of the arm. So let me erase it a little bit. Then we're gonna start with Pompeian Red 191 for the shading. So I want shading next to the ball of yarn and on the bottom of her arm. But I'm adding a lot more than on her top arm because it's behind her. Then I'm taking the medium flash 131 to blend in. Let me zoom you in for this. So I'm just gonna color over the one that I already have, like so. Blend it out, smooth it out. Like that. And then I will go over everything with the lightest tone, which is 132 light flash. Yeah, I forgot to color in her arm. I was editing and I was like, oh no, I missed a part. I missed a part and that doesn't look good. Like, there we go. I fixed it. And now that I'm looking at it, like, I don't like how this is looking. So I'm gonna go over it with this as well. I don't think it wants to take it. Look, see, it still looks the same. That's probably why I left it. But yeah, that's what I want to add in. So back to the original video. Okay, then her necklace. What do I like? Do I want red? I think I do. Let's make it red and then light it to the inside. That's all we do. Okay, beautiful. What else? We've got some more petals, those leaves. I think I wanna give them an orangey tone. So we are going for, we only have got these and those. So we could do that one instead, because we already have the that one in the back. So we could either do brown, but we already have brown on the mushroom, so I think we should go for that one. 190, which is Venetian red, I think. Yes. We're going to use that one on the leaves instead. So I'm going to color the middle. I'm going to also color the stem with this color. Yeah, we need variation, otherwise everything looks the same and it blends in, and I don't like it to blend in, so I need some variation. Anything will work, you know, as long as it's different. Even if it's just a tiny little bit different than what is next to it, it already works. Okay, I think I like that in the bottom of the page. So let's do that on the other plumes of grass as well. Just some shading on it. Just a little bit. Also next to the mushroom. Yeah, I like it a lot actually. So let's add in a lot more. And that's how it goes. Like, oh, I like this. Let's do more. Okay, like, yeah, you can really see the pencil texture, but we're gonna smooth that out with a lighter tone when we get around to using that. Okay, let's add in some on these. Like, make patches of this color as well. Just a little bit. We don't want everything the same. Okay, let's add in some more over here. Make that a little bit darker compared to the foreground. And also a little bit behind the beetle, just because we can. Underneath him. Yeah, wonderful. We still need to do a shoe. Yeah, I like it. I like this warmer tone on the grass as well. It just makes it a bit warmer. Yeah. I don't want to add like a lot, you know? I just want some shading on the bottom. Like, look, that looks really nice. Okay, so what we will do now, because we only need to do the background and the flowers and her shoe. Let's do her shoe first before I forget. Let's use the red 121 Pale Geranium Lake. Yeah, I don't want to forget a shoe. Okay. So I want mostly red on the outside. Also gonna make this part red. And then I want the orange, which is 115 dark cadmium orange next to it. And then a little bit of yellow on the edge. That's it. 108 dark cadmium yellow on the edge. Okay, and then it pops just like the dress. See? And that's all it took. Da, 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 da. Okay, yellow. I've got more yellow. So I'm gonna add in a little bit more yellow on the froggy. Because I think he became a little bit too light in comparison with the background. I want him to pop a little bit more. Okay, I think he pops a little bit more like this. Yes, the mouse doesn't pop at all, so he needs a little bit more warmth with the yellow maybe. Just on some bits. Make him a bit warmer tone. I think that would be nice. Yes, I like that. Now he pops a little bit more as well. Okay, now we only need to do the background and the flowers. So I think I'm going to use the red on the flowers just for a pop of color. So let's use the dark red, 121 Pilgrim Lake. And we're just going to make it really simple. We're going to use it on the sides, the bottom, and then we leave a little white dot at the top. That's all we do for all of them. It's really difficult because they're small. That's all we do. We're not going to add in any more because otherwise it gets really a mess quickly. Yeah, we're already 1.5 hours in again. Goes so fast with these pages. They take a lot more time than you might think, you know. First you think, oh, it's not that big, but because there's so much detail, it just costs time. And I'm also taking time to consider what I would like to do. Oh, we should use some more of the brownish tone over here because there's even more over here. Otherwise they're in thin air, you know. That doesn't look good. So we will go back to the 190 for the ground. Ho. Not throwing any pencils, please. 190. The Venetian red for the background because we've got some more flowers here, so we should use some shadow behind it. Just some. So otherwise they're floating. And I don't want them to float. But I make it lighter to the top because I want a really light background. So I want it darker at the front in comparison. So that's why I'm shading it really lightly. Okay, ow. That was my finger. Okay. Okay, then we're gonna go with these two tones. So we're gonna use that one first, 102, which is this lovely light shade. It's called Cream, 102. We're gonna start with that one, and we're gonna start with the foreground. So I'm gonna blend it in on these bits. I'm just blending it in completely. So I'm pressing a little bit harder. So I might shake the camera a little bit by doing that. I hope not, but that's what I'm doing. I'm pressing a little bit more to blend it in with the other colors. Using it a little bit behind this. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I did all of this out of screen. I'm so sorry. I didn't notice. Yeah, roughly like that. Okay, let's go back down. Because I don't want it everywhere. I want it mainly on the background. I don't know if I want like a lot more here. Maybe like from there to there. But this looks really nice. So maybe I want it there as well. Let's try it. Let's just try it. Maybe it will look really nice. Blending it in with each other. Yeah, I actually like it. Let's keep going. Let's just smooth it out. I don't want to touch this part because that's really light, so I don't want to add in any more over there. Only when where I've got other colors. Like here I placed other colors, so here I can do some. But I don't want it footy wear. Like this is already a lot, you know. It also immediately blends out the color that we already placed, so it's less grainy on the paper. So this is what I meant last time when I said you can always blend things out, like burnish it with a lighter shade. So like a white, or like something as light as this even. Like more like that, because this is a yellow tone. But you might not want a yellow tone, but that's definitely an option, you know. Just a lighter shade of what you already used on the page works really well for blending stuff out without introducing even more colors. Okay, yeah, I really like this. So we'll just keep going to blend it into whatever we have over here. This is also the reason why I didn't do anything on the flowers, because I want like the background behind the flowers really light, and that's why I didn't want any color on the flowers. Otherwise they will not pop at all. And now they look really nice next to the yellowish tones. I like it. I really like it a lot. There we go. Nicely colored in. Look at that, how warm. Okay, I'm gonna move you a little bit. That's not a little bit up, I want to say. Okay, so I'm gonna add it in here. Let me put my protection sheet back to where it should be. I'm gonna use it like around here as well. As you can see, I'm not being careful at all. Just coloring around it, over it. You won't see it anyway because it's so light. Just coloring it in. Okay, I think that's all I want. Let me zoom you out. Oh, like that. Yes, I almost messed it up again with the zooming function. Like, this is how it looks right now. I really like this, but I think we should bring up that bit higher to the bird probably. And I also want to use it in the flowers. So let's do that first, the flowers. So zoom back in to the flowers. So I'm gonna start with this one. So I'm gonna blend it out outwards, into out, but I do leave some white, like not much, but some. Like now it immediately has like a yellowish glow without having like too much color. I'll do the same with this one. We're blending it inwards, but keep the white mostly. Like leave a lot of white. You want to color as minimal as possible to keep the white of the paper. Yellow can be overpowering really quick, so you always have to be careful. Like look how vibrant it already looks, and we barely got any yellow. So we're also going to do that for our butterfly, just a little bit to make it a bit softer. Yes, that looks nice. We also got a glow around this one and around the bee, so I'm thinking about adding it there as well. So then instead of pushing this up, we could just use it there instead, you know. Instead of everywhere, we use it on them where the dots are, instead of adding it everywhere. That would look nice as well, see? Yeah, let's do that also on the butterfly. Just really simple. You see, really light layer. Not too much trouble. Keep it simple. And then we shade these out. And then we've done all the flowers. And then we'll have another look if we need anything else. Or if we're done. So yeah, I just keep adding until I think I'm done. Okay, let's zoom you back out. Okay, this is what it looks like right now. I like the yellow shade and I like that it's white behind it, but what I don't like is how brown this looks. Like, yes, it's pretty, but I think this is not yellow enough to pop out. But I don't know if I wanted more yellow, maybe a little bit. I'm thinking that I might want to add in some yellow on this and the heads and, you know, all of that, those bits, also these, because I think it's too much white. So I don't want to use this yellow. I want to use the brighter yellow for that. I think that will look nice. Okay, let's go back to the dark cadmium yellow. So yeah, this is like what I do at the end of the picture. I just have a look every time I do something to see if I like it. So I'm gonna color a lot more yellow on this part because I don't think it's enough. So there's a lot more yellow, a lot more pigment. Yeah, I already like that a lot better. Okay, I'm also gonna add some on the sides of this, just over there, just to see what it does. Yes, I like that too. Let's do the same over here, left and the right. Yeah. Okay, let's do the same on this. And on this. Yeah, I do like that. Okay, let's keep going. Next to the beetle. I do want to keep some of the highlights. Okay, let me see. Yeah, I like this better. I like this a lot better. Let's add in a little bit more on this. It's a bit too white for my liking. Yes, and then the mushroom heads. I want only some on the sides, I think. Yes. I like that too. And the last one. Yeah, I like it better like this with the yellow added. But I'm not going to add it on this bit because I added it on that. Otherwise the contrast there is gone. So I think I'm going to leave it like that. And now I'm going to use the lighter shade. What I'm contemplating, what I'm trying to figure out, we're going to use a different word, it's too difficult to pronounce today. What I'm trying to figure out is if I want to like push this up with like this tone, like the lightest tone, because we used, let me show you this one, so it's really vibrant, but this one is more like a really off-white. So if we push that up, I don't know if we lose that effect, because I think it's too white, but maybe it's not, you know what I mean? Because it does look nice next to these flowers that there isn't any. Maybe a little bit, maybe just the edge here. Yeah, let's do only the edge. Okay, let's take this one out. Let's do the edge, and then we call it quits. Then we call it done. Because I don't want it any otherwise. Then we're gonna burnish everything. Okay, I'm just gonna leave you zoomed out, and I'm just gonna go over this. Getting in a little bit of this tone. Yeah, it's really light as well, but you can actually, in person you can see it, but I don't think you can see it on the camera. It's more like a creamy tone. I do like it a lot. Yeah, I do like it like abruptly up till here. I don't want it any higher because then the contrast is gone with the butterfly. So we're just gonna leave it up to here. Same on this side. Just blend it in. Okay, good. Good. Okay, that's enough. Then I'm gonna take my burnisher. This one. Was it this one? It's a bit dirty, you see? Yeah, it's this one. I'm gonna sharpen it real quick. I've got my Dala 133. Yeah, it's a bit full with shavings already. There we go. And now it's sharpened again. Now we can use it. So I'm gonna now blend out the bits that I don't like. So So I'm not gonna use it on everything. I'm gonna make it a little bit dull on my piece of paper next to me, so that it doesn't have such a sharp point. You see what I mean? Now it's a bit rounded. Otherwise you get scratch marks on your paper. That's something we don't want. Okay, let me zoom you back in for this part. And I will show you what I mean, because if we look on the page, like they are completely, focus, they are completely blended out. Like the dresses could use a little bit more maybe. This is still really grainy, so I want to blend this out. So that's what we're going to start with. Yeah, this usually works. Come on. Focus. Thank you. Yeah, it's tough. Like I'm gonna blend all of this out that we just placed on the paper. Where you can see the pencil texture, I want to go over it with my Splendor or Blender pencil, whatever you have. It all works roughly the same. It's the same effect. So I'm just gonna go over it and smooth everything out. So then it's really like you don't really see the pencil texture anymore. Because now you can definitely see the pencil texture on a lot of pieces of this coloring page. So we're just going to smooth it out everywhere. And yes, it's worth it. If you want the nice blended look, this is worth it. And if you don't have a Splendor pencil, use like that cream tone that I just showed you, or a white. A white also works really well. But with the white, be careful with darker colors, because usually that gives like a kind of texture on top. If you do a too dark color and use a white. I always recommend using a lighter tone of what is underneath. But for this, it's all light enough that it can be done with this. Like you can see it shine now, see? This part. That's because of the layer that we lay down with this pencil. So yeah, it's gonna shine because of this, because you're basically burnishing it. So the whole texture of the paper is filled up after this. Which is fine. But yeah, that leaves a certain texture, meaning it's gonna shine. Which is fine, because that's the look we're going for. But if you don't like the shine, then burnishing might not be for you. I don't like the shine usually. But if it's done like this, without like over... like if you add too much pigment, you get like with wax pencils, you will get a bloom on the paper. Well, if you do that with oil pencils, it's a lot less noticeable. Like you don't get a wax bloom on the paper. It just gets really shiny. So it has a different effect. Because wax pencils, they don't layer as much. You can only smoosh them together basically. And that's it. But with oil pencils, you just can layer and layer and layer, you know. Like blend on top of each other. And then if you add so many layers, at some point it also feels like yuck, you know. And that's what I try to avoid, too many layers. So by using this at the end, you will still smooth it out without adding too much pigment. But because there is enough pigment, it blends. If there is too little pigment on your piece of paper, this also doesn't work that great. Because there's not enough pigment to move around. Because you can really see the difference, like between this or that or that. It becomes a lot more vibrant as well, because you smoosh together what is on the paper, what we brought on, because we placed multiple colors on these parts. Yeah, this part is just messed up. That was because of the paper underneath. I had a hard edge over here. So I can't really fix it anymore. But because there's a lot less pigment over here, it's a lot harder to get a nice smooth blend. So it doesn't really work as well. Blending this out with the blender. But that's fine. You can have some texture, you know. You don't have to over blend everything. Burnish everything. You could. But I'm not going to. I just use it on the pieces that have a lot of pigment. But yeah, this just takes time. Usually a lot of time. But I will show you what I will and will not blend. Because this part I leave alone. This whole entire section I leave alone. I only do like this bit where there are two colors. to smoosh them together a little bit more. Everything else I'll leave alone, because I want the texture. You see how vibrant it gets when you do this? All of a sudden you really bring the colors to life because you smoosh them into the paper. That's the difference between that or that. See? That's why it's nice to blend as well and burnish. You really make the colors pop by doing it, but it also is really time consuming. I'm doing like a quick run now with going over it pretty quickly, but if you really want it nice and smooth, you might want to go over it again and again and again. Just depends on what you're after, because I don't think I did this part yet. But just for the sake of consistency, I'm doing everywhere the same amount of pressure, same amount of layers, so that you can see what it does. If you would like to use it, if you would choose to use it. You could just skip this step and call it done after we did like the last coloring bits, you know. But because I want you to see this, I will do it. And as you can see, I'm not really being careful. I'm just going over it. Polishing it, basically. I only do the bottom bit on this one because I want to keep the texture on the mouse. This one I do not, so I can blend it out. I do avoid the pieces that are my highlight, like this and this I avoid. This one I will not blend this part. I will only blend the green part on this. I will only burnish the outer bits. And there's also highlight here, so leave that alone as well. I think we've done everything. Let me see the bird. Maybe a little bit. And he doesn't need much because he doesn't have much to blend out because it's already pretty smooth. The butterfly can use some. Like these bits look a bit rough, so we can use some on that. Yeah. The leaves look a bit rough, so let's polish them. It always makes a lot of noise, this blender. I don't want to smoosh that one. I think that's it. Okay, let me zoom you back out. I think we are done. I call it done. That's what I'm doing. If you don't like how light the mouse is, like for instance this part next to the background, you could also make it really dark there. But I decided on white on the nose and the belly, so that the line work will do the work for me. So yeah, this is what we end up with. Let me take out this, so we only have the book. This is what we end up. Oh, I didn't do her face. Hold up. Back. Error, error. Her face is not blended out. Yeah, that's the most important part, actually. Blend out her face. Oh boy. I forgot the most important part of the entire picture. The whole thing is around, focused around her face and the little nomies. And I didn't even do her skin. So yeah, I hope that worked. Let me do a little bit on the little ones. They don't need a lot because they are already pretty good. Okay, I think now we are done. Let's take another look. Yeah, you can still see the texture of the paper, but that's just the way it is. You can also see that on their heads if you look really close. Like, let me just move you slowly. So that's what it looks like after you use the burnishing tool. And you can really see the difference between a lot of pigment and a lot less pigment. So the more pigment you've got, the more it burnishes well, the easier you burnish it. Because if you don't add in an even layer, you're gonna see that. And I did that on purpose on the background so that you've got a difference between them and the background. So you still have texture. I like that. Like him I didn't do because he's already pretty good like this. But you could do that and it makes it even more clear that it's like a shiny creature. So you could do that as well. Like we could do that on the frog because I don't think I did it on the frog. Let me do it on the frog for you so you can see the difference. It's good to look at it before and after. Like see how vibrant it comes. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Look. This part is not done. That part is done. You see the difference? That's what I mean. If there's more pigment, you really make it come to life almost. So yeah, it's a good thing that I checked the page because the frog was not done. Beautiful. And I also want some on the beetle just to show you what I mean. Okay, let's have another look. See how shiny? For him, it doesn't really matter that much. That's why he skipped him. But for the frog, it does make a difference. It really does. Then the mouse we didn't do. We only did his butt. But you can see it. But I want a pencil texture. That's why I don't do him. And the snail I also don't do because he's just so small. But yeah, this is what it looks like. And then we end with the butterfly and the bird. And we're back to the main feature of this page. So yeah, that's how we've done this picture. So I hope you enjoyed watching it. And I hope you learned something from it. And let me know if this is something you'd like to see more of in this specific book. Or maybe in a completely different book. This style of coloring that is like the burnished effect, like this, you know? Instead of the easy peasy coloring that I did in Matchstick Mouse, for instance. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I will put my color scheme over there in case somebody just skipped to the end and want to see what I used. Because that's also an option. And I don't mind if you do. So yeah, you know what you're starting with. This will also be the video picture. So that's fine. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in my next color along. And I don't know what it will be. It will be a surprise. So thank you for watching, and bye bye.